Have you ever felt stuck, waiting for the right time to start your life? Waiting for things to calm down, for pain to fade, for fear to disappear? But what if life never gets easier? What if the peace you're waiting for is already flowing past you, like a river that never stops? Because maybe the secret isn't waiting for calm waters. It's learning how to move through them. Once lived an old man nestled among the rolling hills near a quiet village. His small wooden house stood beside a silver river that flowed endlessly through the valley. Every morning, when the mist still kissed the grass, he would sit by the water, calm, silent, and lost in thought. People often wondered what he saw in that river. Some said he waited for something. Others said he was just too lonely to leave. But the truth was deeper, something only time could reveal. One chilly morning, a young man named Arlen walked down the same path. He had come from the nearby town, his shoulders heavy, his eyes clouded with the weight of things unsaid. Life had not been kind to him lately. He had once dreamed of building his own business, creating something meaningful, but every plan had crumbled. The people he trusted had left when he needed them most. Even love, the one thing he thought would stay, had walked away with silence instead of goodbye. Arlen had stopped believing in timing, in effort, in hope. Every night he whispered to himself, "Maybe this just isn't my time." And so each day he waited for things to change, for the pain to fade, for some sign from life that it was safe to start again. That morning, he noticed the old man sitting near the water, unmoving, just watching the river flow. Something about that stillness pulled him closer. He hesitated, then asked softly, "Old man, why do you sit here every single day? What are you waiting for?" The old man smiled, his eyes gentle like morning sunlight. "I'm waiting for the river to stop flowing," he said, "so I can cross it." Arlen frowned, "But the river will never stop." The old man looked at the water, then at the sky, and replied, "Exactly. That's what I want people to understand." He dipped his hand into the cold water and whispered, "People spend their whole lives waiting for pain to end, for fear to fade, for life to become easier before they start moving." Arlen said nothing, but something in his chest stirred. The old man's words struck a nerve, because that was exactly what he had been doing, waiting. The old man continued, his voice calm and firm. "You see, life is like this river. It never stops moving. Sometimes it's gentle, sometimes wild. But if you sit on the shore waiting for calm waters, you'll wait forever. The only way to cross is to take a step, even when the current looks too strong." He stood slowly, leaned on his stick, and stepped into the river. The current tugged at his legs, but he kept walking, steady, patient, fearless. Arlen watched silently as the man crossed to the other side. When the old man reached the far bank, he turned and called out, "If you wait for the storm to pass, you'll spend your whole life sitting on the shore." Consistency means moving, even when the river never stops. Then he walked away, disappearing into the trees. Arlen stood by the water long after he was gone. The river's sound filled the silence. A rhythm of truth, calm yet relentless. And something inside him shifted that day. The next morning, Arlen returned to the same spot. The old man wasn't there, but the river was, flowing endlessly, just like before. He sat down and listened to it for a while. The water no longer looked like an obstacle. It looked like a teacher. He began thinking about his life, about the things he had left undone because he was waiting for the right time. he realized how many chances had drifted away like leaves on the current. So that evening, he went home and opened his old journal, the one he hadn't touched in months. He wrote a single line: "The river never stops, and neither should I." Days turned into weeks. Arlen started rebuilding, one step at a time. He didn't rush anymore, but he didn't quit either. He applied for new opportunities, reconnected with people he had lost touch with, and began treating his failures as lessons instead of punishments. Sometimes, when fear whispered, "You'll fail again," he remembered the old man's words, "If you wait for the storm to pass." So he kept going, step by step, slow but steady. The progress was small but real, and with each passing day he felt a quiet strength returning, a strength that didn't depend on perfect timing, but on faith and consistency. One day, months later, Arlen visited the hills again. The air smelled like spring, and the river shimmered in the sunlight. He looked around for the old man, but there was no sign of him. Only his walking stick leaned against a rock, half covered in moss. Arlen smiled softly. Somehow, he knew. The old man hadn't been waiting for the river to stop. He had been waiting for someone to understand. Arlen picked up the stick and looked at the flowing water. This time, he stepped into it, slowly, letting the current brush against his legs. It was cold, strong, unpredictable, but he kept moving forward, one careful step at a time. When he reached the middle, the current grew rougher, splashing around his knees. For a second, fear gripped him, the same fear that had once stopped him from living. But he took a deep breath and whispered, "I'm not waiting anymore." He crossed the river and stood on the other side, soaked, shaking, but smiling. And for the first time in years, he felt alive. That evening, he sat under a tree, watching the sunset spread its colors across the sky. He thought about the old man, about how wisdom often comes quietly, not through lectures or success, but through simple moments that stay forever. He realized that the river had never been his enemy. It had been his mirror. Every wave reflected the chaos of his own fears, and every ripple carried a message: keep moving, keep believing, keep becoming. Because life will never wait for us to be ready. The storms won't pause, the world won't stop. But our growth, our peace, begins the moment we decide to move anyway. Arlen finally understood what the old man had been trying to teach. Patience is not about waiting for things to change. It's about staying steady while everything around you keeps moving. It's about trusting your steps, even when the path isn't clear. It's about choosing courage over comfort, faith over fear. As night fell, Arlen looked at the flowing water one last time and whispered, "Thank you, old man." The stars appeared above the hills, and the river kept flowing, endlessly, beautifully, alive. Because that's what life does. It flows, and those who learn to move with it, they never drown, they grow.